All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, a place for tattooers, apprentices, and collectors to unite under all things tattoo. We encourage that you join in these live stream events and real world events where we offer a new option with connecting with each other for the better. From developing your art to getting down to the technical with your skills, surrounded by like-minded peers, you can see us beaming out with events every day, from live tattooing to drawing groups and one-on-one classes. I want to thank everyone joining in from YouTube, Facebook, or Vimeo, and shout out to anyone listening via podcast. Our event schedule notifications can be found on the free Reinventing the Tattoo apps on Apple Play or Google stores, or directly online at community.reinventingthetattoo.com. All of these episodes can be found on demand in the folders section. If you can hear us, be sure to tag us and a friend who may benefit from this experience and knowledge as well as yourself. We here at Reinventing the Tattoo are beaming out to 5 channels 247. If you go to reinventing247.com, you can enter to win a free goodie bag that has some gifts from Raw, Cheyenne, and Dallas Pro. For those who don't know, we have several repetitive shows, including this one. We have Sunday at 1 p.m. with Jason Leeser. We have Sunday at 9 p.m. Tattoo Weekly with Gabe, Lauren, and Jake Meeks of Fireside. They go over all things tattoo that you may have missed over the week. We have Monday morning at 9 a.m. here. This is the Monday morning drawing group, of course, with your host, Kier Franklin. That is myself. 9 p.m. Monday with Guy Aitchison. That is his one-on-one class. And Tuesday at 10 a.m. is with Ricardo Sturdivant, that his class. And Wednesdays at noon is the Tattoo Now show. Thursdays at 10 a.m. is the Thursday morning fundamentals class with myself as well. And Thursdays at noon is the Tattoo Collecting podcast with Vaughn Baker and Jordan Lucas. More content from Andre Malcolm to BJ Betts at courses.reinventingthetattoo.com. Don't mind me, I have a little bit of a stuffed nose. Thank you for making this free to our sponsors. We can't go forward without thanking them. WorldTattooEvents.com, updated tattoo events around the world, especially with everything going on. Things are changing left and right. InkjetStencils.com, making stenciling easier with a mess-free print system, easier on yourself and your apprentice to get the job done. Of course, thank you to Raw Pigments at rawpigments.co. They are an acrylic-free vegan pigment company that is absolutely divine. Dealize Pro or dermalizepro.com help tattoo clients around the globe. Gabe Ripley at tattoonow.com. If you're looking for any like a website or anything like that, he's the best way to go through that. And of course, GuyAitchison.com. He has his Biomech Encyclopedia that he has still available. If you're looking for a gift for another tattooer for Christmas and they really love Biomech and really want to get in depth with it, then that is the way to go. He also has prints, machines, paintings, all that fun stuff right at GuyAitchison.com. And thank you to our affiliates at ecofriendlytattoosupplies.com, apprenticeshipdiaries.com. Jeez, oh my god. Shout out to Amy Nichols, Fireside Tattoo, and of course Raw Pigments as well. Like I said, if you'd like to host, go to management at reinventingthetattoo.com. And that's that. I'm having our friend Matt Jackson join in here. If you are watching from YouTube here, feel free to comment with any questions as we go along today's session. We're going to keep it a little short today only because I do have a stuffed nose and a sore throat. Not COVID, I promise. So I just want to let that be said so nobody has to hear my sniffles and gurgly sounds. Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. How was yours?
Oh, pretty average. I have a very small family, so nothing crazy really happens.
Same.
Did you host it or did you go over somebody else's house?
No, we actually just had me, my wife, and our kiddo. We just had breakfast here with my wife's siblings, and then we just hung out for the day. Didn't do much.
If you want to do me a huge favor, just turn your camera to the side. That way. Beautiful. um, I was having a tough time figuring out what to talk about today because everybody's back from like Black Friday and family stuff, so it's tough to come up with a topic of discussion. Do you
Right.
do you actively go for like the Black Friday stuff, or you avoid it completely?
So we so I've done it the past few years, and this year, are you talking about like Black Friday sales as far as like tattoos, or just like in general?
Just in general, just anything Black Friday.
Um, if there's something that I'm like wanting, but there's really like I usually just I don't really wait for a sale to get what I want. If I need it, I just get it. So
Yeah, I'm the same way.
in the moment, if there's something that I see that's on sale, then I will. But
Yeah, I refuse to do anything Black Friday related. Only because I've seen so many videos of people like in Walmart and stuff like fighting over a Samsung TV. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous right now.
right here, I didn't feel like there was much. Like we didn't see much like Black Friday sales going on or anything. It was weird.
Yeah, they've been having them for like a couple weeks prior to Black Friday, so it was a little strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was different.
But usually I'll look online for stuff. Like today, I'll look online for something maybe if I really need it. Early Christmas giving. It's hard to give gifts to people in your family.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like I've known you guys my whole existence, so do I get you every year? I gotta be balling gifts every year, like top notch. I was looking and I wanted to get my grandma one of those like Pringle cans that when you open it, all the string stuff flies out. I really wanted to get that.
That's funny.
Just get gag gifts, get everybody like a whoopee cushion or something.
So we were like struggling on what to get everyone in the studio, and I think you just solved our problem.
Yeah, it's such great gifts. Honestly, if you just look up some gag gifts on like whatever site that you shop on, be it Amazon or whatever, they got some funny ones. Like,
There's a really good one we put in our apprentice's booth. It's a cricket, and just like every like 2 to 14 minutes, it would go off, and he was like going insane, thinking there was a cricket in his booth.
oh, that is hilarious because that is such an annoying sound.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, where is it? We have Ricardo here as well. He looks like he's taking a morning drive, got his special headphones on. What's up, buddy?
The special headphones, yeah. I'm pretty good. I'm in the car. I'm just waiting right now for some shit from the store. So it's kind of hanging out that I jump on and just doodle a little bit in this old sketchbook that somebody picked up for us.
Yeah,
So.
I've been flying through those pages.
Oh, that's good for you.
I love that paper. It's nice.
Yeah. I haven't really messed with it too much, but I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of like books, our apprentice in the studio, he bought me one for my wallet. And it's like I've not got to use it yet, but I thought it was
Carter's got something like that too, where like it's like in his wallet. I'm like, what?
I actually love that thing here. I just sketched this the other day, as a matter of fact. That's what I was gonna do. I was looking for my wallet, but I was like, hey, wait, I got my sketchbook right here. I just sketched this a little bit. Let me see if I can pull it up closer to the camera.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of dark, but and then I get a little, what do they call that dance? The dap or whatever, that little dap dude.
Oh, he's dabbing?
Yeah, dabbing, dapping, dapperoos. Yeah.
I swear, if you start calling it dapperoos, that's the most dad thing that you could have ever said.
The thing is, it's a dapperoo.
Kids back in my day, we dapperooed. I don't know about these dabs you guys do.
Those kids and those dapperoos getting all funny on it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad the way that you make your noses. I really appreciate because they're like almost like childlike noses. Like they're not like super defined. They're just kind of just like cute buttons.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's fun, you know what I mean? Just like, especially if you're just drawing with a pen, you're just kind of rendering shit real quick.
Yeah, drawing with a
That's
pen
pretty-
is quite terrifying at times for sure, but it's
Ugh.
definitely fun because it makes you more loose than ever, I feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I enjoy
Yeah.
it. And almost.
As we see Matt here is working with ink, correct? That's pretty
Yeah.
permanent too, so that's pretty nerve-wracking at times too.
For sure.
Can
I
be.
had a
Definitely.
friend challenge me to paint 100 roses, like all Sailor Jerry, use the nib and everything. And this is the first one, so
First out of 100, all right.
yeah.
Well, after you get that one done, it's kind of just like, all right, this this isn't so bad.
Yeah, only 89 more.
Yeah, exactly. I got 99 bottles of roses on the wall.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was thinking of like doing a painting or something, but I finished all of mine that I have around me. So besides this giant one, this giant Star Wars one that I have behind me that I've been working on for a while, I'm thinking of just regessoing it and doing something else.
Oh.
I got a
Oh.
canvas studio that I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, yep, I'm not finishing this one.
Well, I had stopped it because I was having like a tough time with color temperature. I was just very like uneducated on it. So then I did 2.5 other full paintings strictly after learning some color temperature. And now that I go back and look at this one, originally I'm like, I don't like all of it. I would do it completely different. So I think it's such a big canvas and I'm really not that far along that I think it's just the better opportunity to regesso it and do something else. But I have such a tough time working on large canvases. I don't know about you guys. It's just a lot of room.
Yeah, getting yourself to a back piece.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, right? I think it's like 4 feet tall. It's like this giant one. It's right here behind me. And it didn't look like so big in the store. And then I put it in my car and I was like, oh, that's a little big. And then I put it down on my table that I have everything on right now. And I'm like, oh, it's the same size. Oh.
Mhm.
It just looks it looks so tiny. It didn't seem that bad. When I read 4 feet, I was like, that's not horrible. I could get something done on that. And now it's just a nuisance in my room.
Oh man. I sat on a painting for about 4 years, I think, and I never finished it until one day I was like, you know what? Because I kept staring at it and I felt the same way when I was doing oils. I didn't know how to get the effect that I was looking for. So I just left it there for like I said, about 4 years or so. And finally discovered how to get this effect, this glazing effect that I was looking for. And I nailed it. Like I went back at it. I just attacked it, like you said, like doing with the pen or the ink. You know what I mean? And it was really resourceful for me to like learn how to do that and like not throw it away or like paint over it. You know what I mean? It helped me out quite a bit. That's why I always like. I mean, I definitely get wanting to repaint or just paint over stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes it can be a resourceful learning tool to kind of get back in it.
Yeah. I mean,
Just food for thought.
that is a food for thought. So maybe I can think about it and really plan something out because it's a lot easier to continue with the thought process that you already had started than to start over and think of like a whole nother thought process and composition.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Especially on something this large. And I don't ever gesso my paintings once whenever I mean, even if there's nothing underneath it, I always gesso my paintings like 6 times with like major sanding in between. So it'd be definitely a process just to start over. So I definitely
It's like a Crayola tactic, right?
Yeah, that's
Approach.
he adjusts his paintings 3 to 6 times, all of them, and then sands them each layer so that way they become like a freaking ice skating rink. So when you apply your acrylics down, it's so much easier to manipulate.
It's kind of like working on wood.
Yeah, or masonite.
Masonite, yeah.
Yeah, I got a smaller wood panel that for like $4 at Michael's. which it's so hard for me to go to Michael's this time of year because they have all those cinnamon like scents just chilling in the middle of the thing.
Not a big fan of cinnamon.
No, I'm allergic, remember?
I know. Just messing with it.
It's horrible. I was getting
Like-
dizzy in there. I'm like, does anybody know that this is a thing? And then I accidentally bought a cinnamon candle, but when I tested it myself, the cinnamon in the store was so overpowering that I didn't smell it in the candle. So I was like, oh, okay, this is fine. I'll take this home. And I brought it home and sniffed in it. I was like, oh, this one smells really good. Smell this. And I sniffed it and I immediately got dizzy. I was like, oh, this has a lot of cinnamon in it.
You know, at least you can eat. Just tell me you can eat cilantro without it tasting like soap, bro.
Cilantro?
Yeah, you can eat cilantro, right? Like it doesn't taste like soap. Like do you like cilantro?
I don't think I've ever had cilantro.
Are you serious?
I don't think. I know that's.
Is
It's green, right?
Oh my gosh, that's green. And if you haven't had cilantro, I don't know what you're doing eating tacos because that's it's almost a must.
Fine, I'll have to get some cilantro. Wait, is it come as like an herb by itself, or do you get it in like a jar, like salsa?
One or the other.
Oh,
But get the fresh kind. Get the fresh kind. Cut it for yourself, and it smells so good. But a lot of people, I guess, you're allergic to cinnamon. Some people have that allergy, but like a lot of people, some people actually, they're just or when they eat cilantro, it tastes like soap to them. Apparently.
what?
I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, but it's incredible.
Yeah, I learned I took some Spanish in high school, and it has to do with a certain enzyme that your body has that
Yeah.
make it soap. I thought it was really interesting.
Isn't that crazy, man? It's like it tastes like soap. That's terrible. I feel so bad for you because it's
Okay.
delicious. It's delicious.
Is it delicious? Like, do you put like
Oh,
a
dude.
ton of it on, or do you get the? Because I know I've seen it in the jars. Okay, but
Don't get the
I-
jar. Don't get the jar. Cut that shit fresh. Don't mess with no jar.
Don't mess with no jar. Got it. So you cut up like a whole bunch of it, and then you put it on like your taco or whatever, and you just
Yeah,
eat it
like-
straight up.
You know, you can eat it on any meat you want really with tacos, but I usually do steak. Like if I get steak tacos, then I'll do some cilantro on it and then like a lime or something like that and on some onions, and that's it. And it's fucking delicious, man. It's amazing.
So if it doesn't taste like soap, for the people out there that are listening,
Yeah.
that it does taste like soap. For you, what does it actually taste like?
For me, it tastes like cilantro. I don't know. How would you describe it? It tastes like kind of like cilantro. There's this stuff called cilantro. It tastes kind of like that. I don't know.
So you're telling us it doesn't taste like chicken? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like chicken, right? Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I did finish. Well, I'll say I finished for now. This skull painting I started in Paradise BYOB. And Cardo, you had mentioned that it looked like that it was being lit from an internal light source. And I wanted to talk about that if that's okay. Because
Yeah, go for
I
it.
want to get your perspective on it. Hold on. Or just show, right? So this is said painting, and this is also your help. You helped me tape the back of it.
Poked a hole in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I dunked a
Just
hole in it.
Put some tape on it. You know, that stuff was made for astronauts. Just put some tape on it.
Well,
Anyways, go ahead.
this is what we got here, right? And so when you had said that initially, and I had sent it to the group, and you had said that it looked like it was being lit from an internal light source, right? I took myself back and I was like, what is he seeing? Because to me, right, if something was being lit from an internal light source, that internal light source would have to be the brightest point, which it's not. But what I did notice was this section right here, right? So if my light source is coming from this direction, right? So obviously, because all this stuff's like the brightest, so obviously light's coming from this way. This section would not be light at all. It would be like black. So is it possible that you're maybe seeing that point right here to where it's making you think that it's being lit internally?
Kind of. I mean, I'm just talking about like inside of a depth, a field of depth is what I meant. Like it looks like you're viewing into like a scene, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, I don't mean it like it's like a light from underneath or behind the skull or anything like that. Like I just meant like you could almost peer into this field of depth. You can set yourself inside the setting.
Okay.
Looks great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think, yeah, you're welcome. And I think if you were to add a little bit of cast shadow on some of those like swirls up there towards the top, like where the light was hitting from that light source and it cast onto the skull, I think that would add even more depth to it.
Yeah, so I think what I'm gonna do today, because
Top
what I'm
left swirl, especially.
trying to do here is finish all paintings that I did this past year and put them up, but I want to
Yeah.
give them all respectfully one last session to really just fine tune everything. So that way, when I can send them out, I know I sent them out with the best of my love and that call it a day. But I totally agree with you with the cast shadows on stuff. Like I want to fix this one that's here a little bit, create a more harsher one here and a little bit more harsher one here. Like absolutely.
Yeah. They're always fun too, because like you get to really discover those forms that lay underneath it. You know what I mean? Like the way the shadow would lie on higher peaks of the form versus like, more receded areas and stuff like that. And then like the discovery of that like Terminator edge, and then how soft and muted out those layers underneath that Terminator edge can actually be to help form that curve of like that form. You know what I mean? It's pretty incredible. It's always pretty fun to kind of play around with that and discover that on your own. So
yeah. And because I know you work on oils like only really. And
yeah. I do some. I think I'm actually gonna be doing a. I don't know if he's gonna see it or not, but I'm gonna be doing a painting for my son here pretty soon for Christmas, so that'll be pretty fun.
Aw.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna use acrylics and stuff like that too, just because of the time that it might take and then the size that I'd like to make it. I think I'll do like an acrylic one this time around.
So, okay. I have an oil painting question.
Okay.
Because I do not work in oils. So
let me see if I can answer it.
So let's just say, right, like how you were talking about before, how you would go into a painting after so many, months, years, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
With oils, when you go back into a painting, is it difficult because it's already dried? Or am I overthinking it? Because with acrylics, you can just jump right into it and it's like no problem whatsoever. But with acrylics, don't they like dry with like almost like a hardened exterior?
With acrylics or oils?
Oils.
They can be kind of hard. I mean, there's mediums that you can use to speed up the drying process and stuff like that, and that works out pretty well. But I've discovered like there's a gel paste that you can buy that works out really well, because I was using Galkid for a while, but the Galkid will like make it kind of shiny, like it gives it this like higher finish kind of look, and like if it's not intended, that will make the paint a little bit more a little bit harder, you know what I mean, in some areas where you don't really want that to be the case. And because sometimes you can use it intentionally and it'll be part of the textured part of the painting, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So it help create a little bit more of that field of depths and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it can be pretty hard, but it's not a bad thing. Actually, one of the cool parts about oils drying that fast or drying to that point is that you can start a lot more. You can do a lot more with like the glazing process then too.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can add those like secondary and tertiary kind of light sources and stuff like that. Or just like that, more of like that lit glow that we were talking about a little while ago. Like for example, like a match. The way it would be ambient. Like for the dead space around it, it'd be kind of ambient, but then the way it catches on whatever source that it's holding it can have like different reflections and stuff like that from like the background, for example, or like that unseen foreground that you don't see that kind of is involved in that. So yeah, it can get hard, and sometimes that can be beneficial. It just depends on like the overall goal that you're going for. Like you can do an alla prima kind of thing where it's still very wet, and you see a lot of the brush strokes and stuff like that too, which I enjoy that process. Sometimes I'll do a painting to where I'm intending to do like a high finish on it, but then I just leave it with all the brush strokes because like it just is so interesting looking to me, you know what I mean? And how simple it is to kind of step away, walk away across the room and be able to see that higher finish look from further distance. And the closer you get up, you see the construction of all of it. It's really fun to me. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. That's really fascinating way because that's the only thing that I was like confused on how that works is when you have an oil painting that completely dries and months or years later you go back into it. What is that waking, quote unquote, waking up those layers going to do for the already saturated tones that you have? But if you already have it all figured out, so obviously,
I,
yeah, absolutely makes sense.
I think also like going back in that long afterwards, it's you can get that paint wet again. You know what I mean? Like, you add some, not necessarily wet, but you can paint on it like the way you would have your. It almost have the same texture as what you say whenever you do the those 6 layers of gesso or primer. You know what I mean? Like it would almost have that same kind of effect where it's saturated the canvas, like especially if it's like a fabric canvas, it saturates all those little pores and stuff like that too. So you don't see a lot of canvas when you're working with the paint. I think that was one of the most difficult part of the process for me was the oils looked too thin for such a long time throughout the painting. I was just getting frustrated with it. I wanted
Yeah,
it to be. What do you think?
I struggled with it as well. It's being too thin, but I actually
Yeah.
like wood because the wood dries the oil out a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like it's like an in between acrylic because I don't like acrylic at all, but
Uh,
and with oil on wood. But I actually had another question too because since you oil paint, I'm like be able to paint at home more, and taking a canvas back and forth is kind of difficult. So I was reading an article about painting like oil on watercolor paper with like an acrylic base over top of it. I was wondering if you had any experience with that.
I haven't. I've seen it done on YouTube quite a bit. There's a guy I follow on there named Alpi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, but he's great. He's always fun to listen to. His accent is awesome. I think he's Swedish. Or I'm not sure, German. I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you, but he's a great painter, and I see him painting in the canvas sketchbook quite a bit. And when I went down to Florida and hung out with Kieran and Bruno, we went to an art store and I picked one up. And I guess I talked to the guy there, and he said as long as it's multimedia paper, then you can usually paint on it. I mean, I think the only thing I would do is leave it open and for long enough for it to dry. You know what I mean? So, but I was talking about the oil paints, and he said, it shouldn't bunch up, or it shouldn't do like what watercolor will do after so many layers of like, kind of dripping through or crumbling up on you or something like that. But as long as it's heavy press, multimedia paper, it should work out pretty well.
Yeah, the
But
article I was saying to like coat the front and back with acrylic, like
mhm,
paint over it so the oil doesn't soak through and kind of
that makes complete sense. Almost like a primer, right? Like a gesso kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to try that out. You know what I'll
Yeah.
do is if I do one, I'll make sure and try to do one without, and then do one with, and see what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
'Cause,
do this. Try it out.
yeah, I like doing that, man. I like the discovery process. Just like not really sure how to work with this medium, not really sure what to do, but just dive in. You know what I mean? And a lot of people will get upset. You're not supposed to do it like that. What the hell do you think you're doing? Yada yada. But there's somebody at some point in time came across this stuff, and they're like, I think I'm gonna try to make a painting with this stuff. You know what I mean? And so we have to discover it on our own sometimes. And then I'll go in and talk to people that have done it for a while and go, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. All right, I got you.
I feel like that's probably every time I paint with someone else, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I've just winged it the
Yeah.
entire time I've been painting. So
Right. That's awesome, dude. That's fucking great, man. A lot of self-discovery there.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I dig it too.
I am looking up this artist I wanted to show you guys. So I saw this artist. His name is Samir Simone. And going back to your brushstroke comment, Cardo, I was looking at one of his paintings that was up on display in Boston. And his brushstrokes have letters in them.
Oh,
like
wow.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so interesting? Let me see if I can find. Like you could stare at his painting and notice all like the K's and B's and R's and like just like they're like they're there. They're not like accented or guessed or estimated that they're there. They're like legitimately me see if I can find the one that I was looking at. It was like one of those paintings where he like stops you on the street kind of deal.
Do you know if the font, does it have anything to do with the subject matter at all? Do you know anything about that?
Let me. He does impressionistic, contemporary impressionism. So he has a lot of landscape paintings, but they're very textured. Like it has like that thick coat that's like coming off of the canvas, like that oil painting texture. I'm trying to see if I can find a painting that shows those letters pretty clearly. I don't know if it will.
Maybe you can just zoom in on them.
Yeah, but it's not even. Oh yeah, okay, maybe this one. All right. I don't know how well this will be shown. We'll try here. Okay, so this is Samir Simone. He does a lot of impressionistic work. A lot of his stuff is just very textured, as you can see, but there's not a lot of paintings here where you can see letters, but there are some cases like in the grass and stuff that you can see in his brushstrokes. He's making legitimate like K's and B's and C's and B's.
With intention, or is that just something that somebody's observed?
I myself observed it, and my roommate that I was with observed it as well. And the painting that we saw isn't here. It was a beautiful painting. But it was pretty evident in each of his paintings that there were like legitimate letters in there, like like you could tell that one full brushstroke was a letter, like R. Like he used a lot of R's and K's. But I don't think oh, okay, so up top, right? We have like an I right here. There's like a U right here. There's like an R right here. But like they're pretty evident. And there's another I right here. And it's like quite interesting on how certain people's and artists brushstrokes, like there's an R right here. Wise. And I don't know if that was, maybe let's just say he did do this intentionally. Maybe he did this intentionally because letters are we know what letters are, and those brushstrokes become more common. I don't know. Wanted to get an opinion on that.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I think it's pretty cool if you add some stuff like that into your artwork for its own personal touch and stuff like that. I think if it was a lend to the subject matter, that might be pretty fun too. In some kind of like little nod or like some subtle kind of way that it lends to the artwork. I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's more prevalent in this one here. Let me see if I can actually zoom into it. Maybe not. Okay, so this one on the right hand side here. So you can make out a ton of letters. So like there's C's, there's R's, there's K's, there's S's up here, there's Q's right here, there's D's right here, Y's, all sorts of stuff like that, which I think is so interesting. That I don't know. I just think it's interesting. So I don't know why. Maybe we can adopt that and put that into our own stuff here. I mean, that's why we look at other artists, right? So we can try and see what they do and adopt it into our own manner.
Yeah, for sure. Influences.
That's the word. Thank you. Influences.
Influences. And not to be confused with influenzas, but.
Oh, no, not that.
Yeah.
We deal with that enough.
Yeah, tell me about it, right?
Absolutely. Carter, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was really good.
What'd you
Had a
do?
good time. Hung out with some family.
Did you get stuffed?
Yeah, I ate quite a bit. It was pretty fun. I was really tired too. Like afterwards, I was like, what the hell?
I I just pictured you just passing out on the couch, like head
Yeah,
back.
seriously. Oh my god, like just farting and stuff, you know, like, oh shit. Yeah, no. It was pretty fun, man. I had a good time. It was one to remember for sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. How about you? You said I think I heard you say something about you just kind of chilled out, like you didn't really do anything too crazy.
No, I went to my aunt's, and my family's only a whopping like 6 people, so
Mhm.
including myself. So it was pretty relaxed. The food was good. I hung out with my aunt's pug. That's pretty much what I do when I go there, is hang out with the dog. So, and then they watched football, and I had somebody try and explain football to me for the millionth time, which does not work out well because I don't
Yeah,
understand.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. I was the same way. I was like, wait, was that a fucking was that a slam dunk or something? Like, no, dude, a touchdown. I'm like, okay, whatever you
Yeah,
say.
exactly. It's more when it's explained like the yards to downs. I'm like, this is math, and I don't want to do math right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matt. Do you watch football, or are we right on the parade?
That's the most like sport that I really get into. I skateboarded growing up, so every once in a while
Yeah.
that, and then I boxed for like 8 years. So I love boxing, but
Nice.
yeah. Other than that, I don't really watch anything.
Yeah, I feel you there, man.
Mm.
Skateboarding is awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I don't want to. I still want to skate, but I don't want to skate because I don't want to get hurt. Everything
That's
hurts.
that's exactly it, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of like puddle around, you know what I mean? Like push around and stuff like that, do some street slides and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
All the
So,
stuff I used to make fun of the older dudes that still skateboarded, I do all those things now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you
And
drive by people and tell them to do a flip?
I'll see some kids out. I'm like, let me use your skateboard. No, I'm just joking. I don't do that at all.
hurt myself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, watch this old dude. You guys got your phones out. Like, you're gonna put this on YouTube.
This will go viral if you film it.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So let me ask you guys this then, since you both skateboarded. In your heydays of skateboarding, right?
Mhm.
What was the best moment of skateboarding, and what was the worst fall you had?
Oh, and so some of the best moments, honestly, was just being with friends. We traveled a lot. We went to a lot of like different places. So just having that friendship, we're all doing the same thing, was so much fun as a kid. But I broke my wrist and I broke my left collarbone skateboarding,
Ouch. Dang, dog.
skating a wall rail on campus, and yeah. But yeah, I thought I was trying to impress a bunch of dudes that came down from Chicago, and I thought I was gonna try to get sponsored by them because they owned a skate shop, and ended up breaking my wrist instead.
Oh.
That's a bummer.
Yep.
At least you went for the gusto, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would definitely say the camaraderie is like the best. You know what I mean? Like, I lived in a town that was a bunch of like, it was a really small town, and we all skateboarded. You were either like a, cowboy or a jock or some, I don't know, or a skateboarder. So like we skateboarded and we all hung out with each other, and it was always fun, man. Like it's not like we intended to have our own little world or anything like that, but it kind of felt like it, and it felt good. It's kind of like that Weezer song. It's like talking about being in his garage where he feels safe and all that stuff like that. It was kind of like that. Like you just had that little network, and it was always, you're sitting there in school and you're daydreaming about skateboarding. You have your skateboard in your locker and you skate everywhere you go and stuff like that. Man, there's just something awesome about it, and that connection, that drive, that push, like doing some shit. People were looking at you like, what the fuck are you thinking going down that staircase like that on top of a piece of wood and some wheels, and like.
Right.
When you're gonna go down like a set of 12 stairs, what the fuck are you thinking? Like this awesome, you love it, and it pushes you. Like I talked about this before, but Rodney Mullen has this really good TED Talks thing where he talks about what it takes, and to kind of be in this mentality of I'm gonna do it no matter what happens. You know what I mean? And like you think about that and you apply it to like some simple things like everyday life, and it kind of it resonates, because like a lot of people are so scared to do shit that they'll never do it, and then they never learn that about themselves either, and like that when he talks about, yeah, it's skateboarding, but this is the mentality that a lot of people struggle with all the time, like you don't see a lot of people trying things that they are so afraid of, but we do it over and over and over again. We did it over and over and over again. Like no matter how many times you fell, you just got back up and did it again, and you had fun doing it, like you said, and I think that was the cool part for me. And one time I got to go see Toy Machine came through, and in Champaign, and we got to go see them with their brand new video in a movie theater out there in Champaign. It was a really small venue, so I got to meet all these dudes that I always watched in videos, skateboarding and stuff like that. So that was a pretty good time. That was probably one of my highlights for sure.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's awesome. You didn't have any
Very cool.
real hard falls?
No, not luckily. I didn't break anything. I broke my big toe one time. We went to a skate park in Indiana called Rampage. I guess it was a bike BMX park, but everybody went there, and I showed up. I did a trick, landed on my foot wrong, broke my toe. Actually, I take that back. I did hyperextend my Achilles tendon one
Oof.
time, and the doctors were like, "Yeah, we need to cut this and reattach it." I'm like, "Fuck you guys, you're not doing shit." So,
No.
yeah. That was pretty fun. I forgot about that one. But yeah, no, that was my ankle clicks every once in a while now too. Click. So, but man, it was a great time, dude. I loved it.
I was saying,
Hours.
talking to sorry to interrupt, but I was
No.
saying talking to other people, other tattooers that grew up skateboarding, because I know so many. That's how we got into tattooing. I got some of my first tattoos on like Jamie Thomas and like Chris
Nice.
Cole, those guys. So like I feel like it's a lot of introduction for a lot of tattoo artists. I always thought that was interesting.
Right. Yeah. There's a culture. There's a whole other culture there too. You know what I mean? And I remember, before, what was it, Etnies, before they were bought out by Nike and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy because even in that subculture, there's like all these different styles and stuff that kind of came through time periods of skateboarding and stuff. You know what I mean? But like the skateboard itself changed quite a bit. You know what I mean? The wheels got larger and smaller. Sometimes they were barely even covering the bearings. You know what I mean? But that was all fun, dude. I mean, it sounds like you know exactly what it is. Like it's just, we put our body through so much shit, but it was so much fun doing it.
Yeah, then it didn't feel like it at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. No, it's like, like I said, I'll do some shove-its and stuff like that and little ollies and stuff here and there, but that's every once in a while. Definitely not like what it used to be. Like I say it a lot, but I almost didn't tattoo because I was like, which one do I want to do? Which one of these am I going to focus on? You know what I mean? And I almost didn't tattoo because of it, because I love it so much. I miss it sometimes. I saw the same skateboarder that I quit on too. It's like just sitting there staring at me like,
Yeah, I
you're
actually
old.
pulled the other day and like taught my wife. She's into roller skating and stuff. So I'd like pull my board out, like teach her how to take her bearings out, put new bearings in her wheels, and her wheels she bought were actually the roller bones made by Bones. I did not know they made rollerblade wheels now.
Nice, dude. That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, you still see Steve Caballero on Instagram, man, and is still sponsored by Pal Peralta. You know what I mean?
Actually, I put a painting on. I've got like a separate art Instagram, and I posted a painting I did of Jay Adams on an old wooden skateboard. And
killer.
This was like 2 days ago, and Tony Alva like commented on it. I thought that was super rad.
Yeah, dude, that's radical, man.
Yeah,
that's so cool, man. You start geeking out. You're like, oh shit.
I know. Yeah, like no one else is gonna know how cool this is.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. And then remember carrying around a skate key, and people are like, what the fuck is that thing?
Right.
Yeah.
The T tools and everything.
You got it, man. What's that Instagram, if you don't mind sharing that?
It's just mattjackson.arts.
Mattjackson.arts.
Yep.
Yeah. Did the both of you skateboarding, was this like a good inspiration for your work and art too? Like, did it coincide with each other?
I would say so, because I feel like I have a I don't know, when I look at my art, I thought there's some kind of like aggression there, and I was really drawn to like punk music and skateboarding. Like that's you can see a lot of that in my personal artwork, but for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, punk rock for sure, music for sure, influences by like all the skate videos and stuff, all the different music that they would have on there. That was like a large introduction to different bands that I never even heard of. You know what I mean? Into like early hip hop stuff. You know what I mean? That was a blast to see in some videos too. And the coolest part is like some of these companies, Gesundheit,
Thank you.
some of these companies that had just an entirely different style. You know, like some of them were all punk rockers, some of them were like hip hop guys. You know what I mean? Some of them were like into graffiti. So I mean, a lot of no matter what music you listen to, no matter what part of the subculture you were, like I think everybody was into some form of graffiti in some way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it influenced my art for sure. Like seeing different stuff on skate decks, especially. You know what I mean? Like I used to buy all the skate decks with all the cool graphics, and then after a while, I stopped. I just started buying blanks, and then like just putting stickers all over myself, or like drawing on them myself, or painting them myself.
Yeah, I think it was my introduction to art in general, like seeing it like on the boards and like this is self-expression on t-shirts and everything. So I think that was like a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
was
think
that brand. Go ahead.
I was saying I don't think I'd be the same person at all without skateboarding. I probably wouldn't tattoo, to be honest. I don't know if I would have ever found tattooing like that. I don't know.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is a comment here from Sean Whitehead. He says, just hung out at Electric Pear Dice Tattoo in Virginia. When I showed up, a bunch of the guys were there early skateboarding out front. It was sick to see that energy doing a guest spot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's when you know you showed up to a place and it's like all right, I can dig with this. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. With that being said, though, I am actually, sore throat and everything like that. So we're gonna call it a little early, so I can go eat some soup and stuff. But let's do our sign-offs and whatnot. Cardo, if you'd like to start us out, and I'll go down the list there since you are on top of my list, and go for it.
Yeah, my name is Ricardo Sturdivant. You can find me on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I host a class on here. I think I talk about all kinds of stuff. Some of this stuff that we're talking about today for sure. Culture, ideas, perspectives, and then we talk about a little bit of art sometimes. So it's fun. If you guys get a chance, come on over, hang out. You know, let's just drop a line and just kick it and draw together and see what happens. Thanks.
All right, that's Ricardo Sturdivant, everybody, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
All right, Matt Jackson, take it away.
Yeah, I'm Matt Jackson. I'm on Instagram at mattjackson.tattoos. I talk a little bit more art, mattjackson.arts. Yeah, feel free. It's mostly oil painting, stuff like that. Feel free to give me a follow. I love doing collaborations. If anyone's ever down to do that, I'd love to do one.
All right. Yeah, we should definitely do that. You bring it up every time, Matt, and definitely need to do that. All right, let's see here. Spotlight myself somehow. There it is. Okay. Well, that was a nice little session there. Thank you guys so much for joining on. I would have been so stuck figuring out what to talk about without you guys joining on. So thank you guys so much for saving this session from being utterly boring from just me.
My nose is stuffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, my name is Kirsten Franklin. I am approaching 2 years tattooing out of Massachusetts. Yeah, that's how out of it I am. I also do a Thursday morning fundamentals class at 10 a.m. Eastern time on every Thursday. Obviously, we missed last Thursday due to the holidays, so we'll be wrapping up our color theory month with the next class approaching this Thursday. So feel free to join in, talk about some color theory and all that fun stuff. And follow me on Instagram at Frankie Says Things, and on Reinventing the Tattoo at Frankie Tattoos Things. And I will sign off now because my cat is getting into stuff that he shouldn't be getting into. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining.